welcome to our first episode.
Yeah, welcome.
We are two parents who are figuring it out like the rest of you parents. And we decided to do this podcast because we thought it would be a fun, hopefully entertaining way to talk about parenting issues. And what better way to talk about parenting issues than to talk about other people's parenting issues? Because
we don't have any, obviously.
Yeah, of course. We have
We're
none.
perfect parents.
No, we'll talk about other people's problems, and then we will talk about our own when it's appropriate, when there's some relevance, right?
Yeah. Or when there's any problems.
Yeah. When problems, yeah, right. When there are problems. So the way this works is we are going to essentially read some Reddit stories. We will be reading these for the first time, so you will see our reactions.
I'm Gemma. I'm Otis's wife. I am mom to our beautiful son, Jude, who just turned 1. I've never done a podcast before, so I've also never used a microphone before, so, my audio might not be great.
Yeah, so if there's any of these moments like Talladega Nights.
So I'm learning where to look at the camera. I'm learning how to talk into a microphone. So, maybe, if people tune into the podcast regularly, they'll see me evolve from a stumbling amateur to a professional podcaster.
Hopefully we will be stumbling amateurs for the rest of our lives, at least in our minds. So my name is Otis. I am Gemma's husband, since we're going to follow the format here. And I used to play in the NFL. I'm a lawyer, and I'm the kind of guy who just, I don't know, I feel like this idea of parenting like an athlete is kind of like, hey, when there's a problem, when athletes see a problem, it's not, oh no, the sky is falling. It's, there is a solution, and we are going to find it. We are going to figure it out. So we know nothing. We're just experimenting, and everything that happens good for us is by God's grace and by just sheer will to try different things, and to not be like stuck in whatever hole of whatever it is we think we know. So we love your comments. Well, we have no comments yet, but
hopefully we'll have some comments.
I am projecting comments on us, and
all comments welcome.
Yes,
but be nice. It's our first time.
Don't worry about being unkind. If you're unkind, YouTube will just filter your comments out, and we won't see them anyway. It's magic, right? But no, seriously, like, what we want to know is how you're doing these things. Like, what do you think? We really care about that, because we're figuring this out, and it's like, hey, how can we be the best possible parents? Crowdsource it, right? Google doesn't have all the answers, but I guarantee some of you out there do. And I've actually gotten book recommendations from people on comments. Mm-hmm. Not this podcast, but a video that I made that like 2 people watched. It was more than 2 people, but but we got comments, and we care about them. So if you have some ideas, we'd be happy to talk about those comments in a future podcast. All right, so we're gonna get into our first Reddit post. Which one do you want to start with here? Ooh, husband sleeps all day.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh boy, I'm gonna let Gemma.
Oh no, what about this one? Broke up your 3-year relationship over him disciplining my kids. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a strong one. You know what? Let's start with the strong one. That's gonna get you guys excited, right? Sorry.
Okay, so the headline is broke up 3-year relationship over him disciplining my kids. Am I wrong?
Probably not, but let's find out.
Here we go. Okay, we've dated for 3 years, lived together with my daughters 7 and 9 and his youngest daughter 11 for 2 years. We were a family until last night.
Wow.
Dun-dun.
Okay.
I got some bang snaps / poppets. Not sure what that
That
means.
sounds like drugs.
That does sound like
Is that
drugs.
drugs?
Is it drugs or is it candy?
Well, it says because 4th of July, so that must be
Oh, that's probably fireworks. Okay.
fireworks. Okay. Not drugs,
Keep
y'all. Okay.
context.
Okay. Boy.
We were outside and D7, not sure what that means, throws one near the dog.
Daughter 7-year-old daughter is D7.
Oh, is this like internet code
Yeah,
language?
there's lots of code. Yeah, shorthand here. Yeah.
Okay, so D7 throws one near the dog. I tell her to stop, and she did it again. She's a very good kid, but she's barely 7 and still learning. I definitely have a more gentle approach, but still don't let them get away with stuff. He is more stern. So he pulls out the pocket of his jeans and makes her hold onto it, follow him around some, stand there while he's sitting. I say, okay, lesson learned. Let's tie this up and enjoy our evening and watch fireworks from the back deck. He tells her to give him a kiss on the cheek. She says she's not comfortable with that before I can even speak. Good on her. And then he says, okay, a kiss on the hand. This is getting a little weird, slightly creepy.
Yeah, not loving this. Okay.
I interject and say no, think of something else. So he tells her to go to bed out of frustration. I am not okay with any of this. He says he's trying to teach her humility. I say he's trying to humiliate her. Kiss his hand like he's an emperor or something. Hell no. We get into it over that, and he got in my face and grabbed at my side, and then suddenly must have thought that it wasn't a great idea and stopped the grabbing, but was still in my face. Okay, this is escalating. It escalated to us breaking up. Things have been volatile for a while now, so kind of saw this coming. But last night I found myself booking a hotel for my daughters and I after midnight. Oh, and now it's my 9-year-old's birthday today. We're having a yes day, and they are happily swimming in the hotel pool right now. The look on her face last night was a help me mom look, and I'm not about to let anyone affect my kids like that. I just won't. We haven't spoken since, and I'm just in my head second guessing breaking up our family over this. I guess I'm looking for validation here. Did I do the right thing? Is what he asked of her as ridiculous as I think he is?
Okay. Thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think this guy sounds like a jerk.
Yeah.
It's a weird way to discipline a kid, especially a young girl, by trying to get her to kiss her stepdad.
Yeah, the hold my pocket thing sounds like some weird stuff that I don't know if you guys remember Scared Straight. I think it was called Scared Straight. Well, you don't remember, but
I don't know what that is.
It was on MTV, and there were like these bad kids, or I don't even want to call them bad kids because I don't really like that term. I think it's just kids who have bad parents, actually. Sorry, y'all. But if your kid's really bad, I'm gonna start with the parent as the source of the problem. So these kids who are struggling to behave the way their parents want them to behave were taken to prison, and there's like these prisoners that come out, and it's like, hey, this is what happens to you when you come to prison. And one of the things that one of these prisoners mentioned was making someone hold their pocket. It's like, I'm going to make you my. We can't curse on here. We're not cursing on here.
Like literally hold on to like their jean pocket.
Yeah. Hold my pocket. Well, they don't get jeans in prison. It's not.
Oh right, yeah, they're in like
too luxurious
scrubs or something. Like
something like that. Yeah, it's probably like a poly cotton blend, pretty thin.
It's very specific
material. Yeah, I'm imagining it's
machine washable,
orange, highly machine washable. Probably falls apart pretty quickly since they're using taxpayer dollars to pay for this. Anyway, y'all. But these guys like would make these people hold their pocket, and I think it was kind of like a weird kind of grooming thing. Like, so
maybe this guy was in prison. Maybe he's an ex-con, and that's where he got it from.
Yeah, which makes it even more gross and creepy. And I think if you are a single mom dating and you meet a guy, I think if he's a horrible kind of dude or not. And I get the feeling that what this guy did was, just one of many weird, creepy, gross, mean, terrible things that he's done. And I gotta say, like, when you have kids, I think it should just be automatic. Someone's trying my kids, someone's trying me in front of my kids. We're not playing that game. We're moving along. Like, there's like this whole our family's broken up. Nah, nah. Y'all aren't married. It's your boyfriend who has an 11-year-old daughter, and I think everything will be okay.
Yeah, you can do better. Redditor.
Yes, yes. And there's a lot of people out there who I think, maybe we do keep this, because I think there's a lot of people out there, men and women, who believe that, well, it's like, well, there's all these, if you've got kids, there's all these people who don't want to date someone who has kids. And then there might be people who do, but then you're like, well, I don't really want to bring you around my kids until, I don't know, 6 months. 6 months is like the earliest I've at least heard. Maybe someone can correct me, but you don't want to bring these people around your kids, and then when you do, it just could turn into a disaster. They might have a problem with the way you've disciplined them, you're raising them, like the way they talk to you or whatever, and so it's hard. But I gotta say, like, cut fast. Like, if it feels weird early, get out of there, because um it's not about you anymore. I mean, I know that your happiness is important, but you know you had your shot at like a fun, awesome life.
Wow. Your life is over.
You had your shot. No, I mean, I'm not saying your life is over. No, I'm not saying your life is over, but like, come on, man. I mean, you had your shot. Give the kid a shot to just have a good life, and a good life sometimes means not having to deal with some jerk who keeps you happy some of the time. I don't know.
Yeah. This guy does not sound like anyone you want your kids around. And I think this person obviously knows that. Deep down, she's just looking for the courage from a community to make a move.
It's a hot topic. Everyone obviously is
The people have spoken.
telling her that she's not wrong. We're not even bother with comments. All right, so I'm going to read "Husband Sleeps All Day." That was the one that I was hoping for. I wanted to start with because it felt like, there's little risk for like weirdness here. He's just lazy and a horrible teammate. I'm assuming. I could be wrong.
You never know what's going to go on.
We might find out that this mom is just overreacting. I'm joking, y'all. She's probably not. It's just not how it works.
Women don't overreact.
Never.
As a rule.
Never. Okay, husband sleeps all day. What the title says. We have a 4 and 6-year-old. In the early days, he would sleep in every weekend day. That's every weekend, but okay. He would sleep in every weekend day and refused to get up with me and the kids, so we implemented sleep-in days to make it fair. I'm curious about sleep-in days. Can I get a sleep-in day?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay. He gets to sleep in till noon.
Noon.
Till
Dang.
noon on Saturday. I get to sleep in on Sunday. Well, look, this is compromise, y'all. I like how this is going right now.
Yeah, but we wouldn't sleep in anyway. Even if
Yeah, I refuse to sleep all day. That's a waste of a day. The problem is I have to wake him up at noon on Saturdays, and then he normally gets up just before 1, puts the 4-year-old down for a nap, and then goes right back to sleep and will sleep until I wake him up after her nap. Okay, so
this guy's lazy. Also, what time is he going to bed? Like, maybe he should go to bed earlier.
I mean, okay. It sounds like he doesn't have a job, but if he does have a
Well,
job,
it is the weekend.
oh yeah, good call. Right. I think this woman's overreacting. I mean, he's sleeping. He's up with the child. Put him down for the child down for a nap, and
Well,
then
he's getting up an hour later than the agreement. Anyway, you should keep reading it.
that's a good point. Hey, y'all, what you're gonna learn about me is I really do not like reading these things straight through. It's just so much more fun to comment as you go, but also because my memory, I can't remember all this stuff. These things are so long. Okay, so you can see that she's correcting me on this. Like I don't even remember what I just read. Maybe it's because I'm nervous.
Boo-hoo.
I'm nervous. Be nice. Okay, so on Sundays he sets an alarm for 8 and gets the kids between then and 8:30 and will fall back asleep before feeding them breakfast. Whoa.
Wait, what?
That's weird.
So he goes and gets them up and does what with them?
I'm not sure.
You can't
He'll
stay
doze
away.
on and off all morning and then right back to sleep when I get up at noon. Twice I've left the kids with him for the whole weekend, and I suspect he's just slept through those days as well, setting alarms to get up and feed them. Our 6-year-old is banned from YouTube because he gets addicted, and yet every time I come back from a trip, he's started watching it again, which tells me my husband hasn't been supervising him. It takes him several days to do chores such as emptying the dishwasher and washing the laundry. Washing the laundry. Husband works days Monday through Friday. He is not using drugs and only has roughly 2 pints to 3 or 4 per week. Okay, well,
Okay, that's where I was going. I was like,
these
is he
people are
drinking too
in
much?
England.
How do you know that?
We don't call. Do we call?
Oh yeah, I guess yeah.
Yeah, he's just at home having a pint. I don't think we do. We talk about alcohol like that here.
That's true. That's true. I don't think you can even get a pint here.
No, I don't think you can unless you go to a British pub.
True.
But it sounds like he's drinking at home.
Yeah.
Like a normal person. Drinking's bad, okay? All right, so this guy's not on drugs. Not only so he drinks like a little bit. He has 2 to 4 pints a week.
This is also what she knows, though.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. He could be a secret alcoholic. That's true.
Also, does he smoke weed? Because she didn't say anything about that.
Well, weed is drugs, actually. I know we're not.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't classify it as drugs, right?
Yeah, but if you're gonna use a blanket statement of not using drugs, I mean, I think you then need to clarify that you think that weed is not drugs. Just like she mentioned alcohol, right? Because technically alcohol is
a drug.
A drug. Yeah. So she understood the assignment then.
Okay.
But who knows? I mean, these are people on Reddit putting their business on Front Street. So who knows what they're thinking, right? No, they're looking for help. Not from us, but they might get it from us if they see this.
If you can call this help.
This help?
Is this help? Or is this just
this is
talking about?
Or is this a hot mess? No.
That's a rhetorical question.
You're going to look back on this years from now and be like, wow, their best stuff was the early years. Like somehow this will
unscripted,
this will be the best stuff.
This will be on a highlight reel.
Yeah. So I think sleeping all day is neglect. He thinks I'm criticizing him for no reason. I tried Googling, but I'm not finding anything relevant to this particular problem. Was curious what others think. Sorry, it's so long. You want to go with your thoughts first? I mean, you already said some stuff, but
yeah, I mean, I feel like this guy doesn't really sound like he is that invested in his family. He sounds like
wow. The man works Monday through Friday. He's not invested in his family.
So do most people.
Yeah, but
I mean, he's not like if she's going out of town and he's like just letting the kids like do whatever they want. I mean, something is going on with him. Like there is an issue that either she doesn't know about or she's not like communicating to Reddit.
Okay, is that your full assessment? I don't want to cut you off.
No, you go. You go.
Okay, you want to wait until I say something dumb and then you can like jump on it. Nah, that's not how our relationship works, y'all. We don't do that. My first thought, this sounds like an episode of Grey's Anatomy. So for all y'all out there who are Grey's Anatomy fans, it's like I could totally see this woman coming into the hospital with her husband and he's like collapsed and they're like, what happened? And she's like, I don't know. He just fell down. And then they're going to be like, well, like give us some more information. Like, has he been tired lately? Actually, yeah, he sleeps like all day.
So you're saying he has a brain tumor?
Then they're like, he has glioblastoma or some,
Oh,
like
shit. Is that a real thing? Did you just make that up?
that's actually real. I don't know if it's like if it actually is caused if that causes like
okay.
I don't know if that causes like
Any
you to
doctors out
sleep.
there want to?
And I might have said it wrong too.
Correct.
But according to Grey's Anatomy, it's something that is like really, really hard to cure. And I'm not a doctor, so that's why I said according to Grey's Anatomy. But I think I have seen something about how they're using like either stem cell or viral treatments to cure this. This is totally not like the point of like what we're talking about right now. So I'm gonna try not to veer too much, but I just did. So it sounds like a Grey's Anatomy story, right? It sounds like this guy has like something seriously wrong with him, and she should not be on Reddit posting about this. She should be like going to the doctor. But we live in a no. This is the UK. This is England or maybe Australia.
Yeah.
These people have free healthcare.
But you might have to wait a while to see a doctor.
Yeah, and that's the negative thing. So this guy might be missing out on some like some care, some health care.
Also, though, like I'm curious. She doesn't say like has she spoken to him about this? Like, how did the conversation go? What was his response?
Yeah, he said that she's being. He thinks I'm criticizing him for no reason. I mean,
oh, okay.
So the go ahead. Sorry.
No, so he doesn't think that's a problem.
Oh, he has no problem with this. So it sounds like he likes what he's doing. He's actually comfortable with it. So maybe it's not an illness. All right. So like really,
or maybe he's in denial. Because sometimes when people are sick, they don't necessarily realize, right?
That's
it takes somebody else to like point out what's going on.
Look at us.
Look at us.
A couple of sofa doctors.
Maybe we should make this a medical podcast.
We just I'm pretty sure YouTube would cut cut this show quickly. Yeah, no, seriously. Okay, so beyond the illness thing, it just sounds like this guy is really worn down. So my guess would be, and this is going to sound like really not nice, but I'm guessing the guy is probably significantly overweight, probably doesn't exercise, and that stacks. You've got kids, you're trying to keep up with them, you're working, you're not getting like the best rest. Like just being in like terrible shape leads to not being able to sleep well, not then you start grabbing food that's terrible for you. And let's just be real, like y'all, there's some studies out there, plenty of them at this point, that makes it clear that no amount of alcohol is good for you. And the weird thing about it is I've known this since I was playing college football. Like that was 2000, in the year 2000.
Is that busted?
What?
I've been to. Oh no, that's 3. I'm thinking of. I've been to the year 3000.
I don't know that one, but that's from Conan O'Brien. Shout out to Conan.
Oh,
Coco.
okay.
Yeah, that's what people call him. His friends. See
like
you, Coco.
Like us.
2000. So, yeah, I already knew in the year 2000 that drinking one drink basically blows my whole body, like what my body's doing for a week. I mean, one drink will ruin what you're doing for a week. Like, so you're lifting all these weights, you're eating the right food, you're running, you're working out, whatever, trying to get your rest, and one drink will blow it. So I was that lame kid at parties. I wasn't lame. I just wasn't drunk. And I think this guy is just, you know, he drinks. She says 2 pints a night. Oh.
A night? I thought it was a week.
This says, oh, she came back and edited it. Okay, so edit to change 2 pints a night to 3 to 4 a week. Okay, in my frustration, I overrepresented the frequency. Okay, so he does only drink 3 to 4 pints a week.
I mean, according to those new regulations that came out from the Canadian government, that's binge drinking.
Oh yeah,
they said you're
just
they
two to
said
three.
you anything more than 2 drinks a week is really bad.
Yeah. Why they should just not call it binge drinking though, because the definition doesn't seem to like match up.
Yeah, it doesn't really connect.
Yeah, like I'm binge watching a show but I watched 2 to 3, 4 episodes in a week, but all on different days. It doesn't feel right. Okay, anyway, so this one it's a mystery. I mean, the husband just could be, he just might not care.
He might not care. He might have a brain tumor.
He might just be overweight and like a secret alcoholic.
He might be burnt out. He might have something going on at work. Maybe he's having an affair.
That's highly unlikely. This guy can't even like stay awake during the day.
Maybe he has narcolepsy.
I don't know if that's how it works, but but again, I don't know. I tell you what. Let's see what our battery life is looking like. Okay, we're not gonna die on the battery anytime soon. Okay, so that was husband sleeps all day. What do you all think? I mean, has anyone seen this? Do any of y'all do this? Like, or any of y'all? I tell you what. I mean, on the weekend. First of all, you know what? Let's back this up a little bit. This is not the end. This is not the end. I think I might be empathizing with this guy. She's saying this happens on the weekends. So he's like just tired from the week. And then.
But so is she.
No. Listen. Oh, hey, y'all, don't get mad at me for putting my hand up. I know that some of y'all be like, oh, that's not nice. So look, this woman said that there are weekends where she goes away on trips and she's concerned that he's just setting timers to wake up to make sure he feeds the kids and then he's sleeping the whole time. Okay. Where are you going by yourself? Like, and what right do you have to be like judging this man on how he spends his time where he's on kid duty all weekend long while you're out having fun? I mean, she literally.
I mean, I think she said she has been out of town twice.
Twice?
Also,
I've left
she could
him
be
with
on
for
a
the
work trip.
Over the weekend? Like, why is she?
I mean, it could be. I mean, you don't know what she does for work.
I don't know what she does for work, but what I'm trying to say is like, you know, you're doing something. People, we all choose what jobs we work, and if you're telling me that you chose to do a job where you're working on the weekends out of town, maybe she's the one stepping out. Is all I'm saying. I don't know. She might be the one who's the concern here. I
think the point is if they both work, they both also have responsibilities with the kids, right? And they've got this arrangement where they have a day, and if he's not pulling his weight on his day, then it's not great.
It just sounds like she's. I mean, I know that like he's fallen asleep before feeding them breakfast, so that's not great. But it doesn't seem like he does it every time, and it really does seem like he's tired. And also, it seems like she wants to sleep in too. Like she's also someone who sleeps all day. I mean, there's like judgment here from her. But if you really dig into this, like she is sleeping all day as well. I mean, on Sunday, she has a sleep in day. She was looking at him and kind of jealous of his sleep in habits and was like, I want some of that. I want in.
Maybe they need to get like a babysitter or a family member to come in one day on the weekend so they can both sleep in
They probably just need to
together.
stop drinking and start exercising more. But like I definitely feel like there's I mean, even this whole thing about the 6-year-old being banned from YouTube because he gets addicted, like I know there's a lot of people out here that allow their child to be entertained with YouTube, but I'm just saying, like, if you're putting your kid, you put your kid in front of YouTube. So, like, he's banned from something that you, like, gave him. And of course, he's addicted. Like, it's literally designed. I mean, you guys are watching this video because YouTube knows that they know everything about you. And they sent this to you thinking that you'd be interested in this and that you'd watch. And if you're watching this, it's by design, not my design, by YouTube's design. So the kid is not like addicted, he's just a human. And it's up to the parent to not give the kid YouTube to entertain him, but this is what it sounds like they've done. And I hear, and look, she says, and yet every time I come back from a trip, he's started watching it again, which tells me my husband hasn't been supervising him. So I don't know. I mean, this man sounds like an imperfect babysitter and and
Wow.
not really the best teammate. But I gotta say, like, if you are frequently gone, like if you're, I mean, she says every time I come back from a trip, that sounds like a lot of trips. If
That's a good
if
point.
if you're frequently gone, this is the part. Like, so we talk. So here's y'all get to hear like our private conversations here. Kids are, we have one, and he's a little over 1 year old. 1 years old. How do you say that? 1 year old or 1 year?
A year. He just had his first birthday three
So a
weeks
year
ago.
a year old. He's a little over a year old. That makes more sense than he's a little over 1 year old. I don't like saying 1 year old.
Yeah, a year.
It's weird. Anyway, it's not weird. I just have problems with like the English language sometimes. Just blame her. Blaming her people. Um, yeah, so we talk about, so that it's not easy. It's a team sport, parenting, and we early on talked about getting help, because like we both work from home, but you still have to like work, right? So, oh, what if we bring someone else in to help out? Sounds great, except I cannot possibly expect to be able to dictate to someone exactly how I want them to raise my child, to think like me and do like me, and expect them to produce. like like we had a conversation. I was like, how much money do you want to spend on finding a person like this? Because as far as I'm concerned, and look, I think this should be every parent, the value of you as a parent and what you are able to impart in your child, we're talking like, I'm going to go ahead and say this is like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. I mean, like this is like, if for me to find a person who can be me or better for my child, this person like really doesn't exist. So we're talking about like a unicorn here in the world of recruiting. Like this person is getting paid like everything. They don't exist. So mom expecting dad to basically be like her while she is just gone. Lots of weekends. I don't know. I wonder. I'm gonna say that they're both the problem, and she's just.
It sounds like there's a problem with their relationship.
Oh, of course,
I
yeah,
mean, there's a
sure.
communication problem. They're not like on the same page with their family goals.
Yeah, I mean, she's on Reddit looking for help from others, like so she can basically read the comments back to him about how bad of a husband he is. Like, I mean, that's what she's doing. This is so yeah, they definitely have. We probably should just start that off from the beginning. Like, husband sleeps all day. You're basically putting your husband on Reddit instead of going to counseling. Like, okay, maybe
But I mean, I guess
y'all
if
have
people
problems.
weren't doing that, like we wouldn't have a podcast.
Well, of course not. We're not complaining about it. We're just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, you're right. They have relationship problems. But I think we all agree on that.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts on this?
I mean, I feel like we covered the gamut on this one, really.
I'm trying not to slouch here, y'all, but I feel so comfortable.
Oh yeah, I feel like I'm slouching too.
We're free to slouch.
I mean, we are in our house.
I hope if you're watching this, I hope you're slouching too.
Slouchy Sundays.
Slouch away, y'all.
Spread out, get real comfy.
I skipped watching Victor Wembanyama in his second summer basketball league game to talk about this. So, oh, you're welcome.
I'm sure the internet is grateful.
We are on a roll.
Are we gonna do one more?
Of course we are. Probably maybe two more. Maybe we'll just like pick it up a little bit. All right, so we've got. I'm just gonna read. We've got I don't know if my son's friend got into our private folder and I'm freaking out.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
This sounds like another weird one that you're just gonna walk right into and we're like, oh, should we post this? But if you want, we can do it. Is it fair or is it rude to ask your partner to do things right when they wake up? Let's go for that one because this one seems like pretty easy, but also there could be some context that we're not getting from the title. So let's start.
Are you gonna copy and paste it again? Do you think?
Yep, I am copying and pasting. This is my job.
You're the copy paster. Are you getting better at it? That was much faster this
time. Much faster. We're gonna get this thing down to under 25 minutes one day.
Okay, here we go. Is it fair or is it rude to ask your partner to do things right when they wake up? Just some context. From the minute I wake up, I'm on the clock. I bed share with my baby.
Big mistake.
We've got thoughts on that. We've got lots of thoughts on that.
Oh, sorry, y'all. Sorry. I'm sorry. Don't do it.
It's a 1-year-old girl. So I'm immediately breastfeeding her. Then I change her diaper. I let the dog out. Then my toddler, 3-year-old boy, usually hears us. So then I change his diaper, get him a breakfast. Not a big morning eater, so just a piece of fruit or toast. Only after I've done all that do I get to my coffee or getting myself ready for the day. Then there's my fiance who rolls out of bed kind of whenever, goes for the coffee I've already made, then immediately sits down to check his stocks or the news, or maybe does it in the bathroom for 30 minutes. I feel like all men do this. That's probably another topic we could talk about. Before doing anything for the kids. I understand how important it is to have me time first thing, so I don't really fault him for this. I'm more on about him waking up from naps. On a day when we're both home with the kids all day, he'll take a 3-hour nap while I'm dealing with the crazies. And today, about 5 minutes after he gets up, I tell him I'm going to let the dog out, usually a 15-minute affair. His response was, "Why you got to do it right when I wake up?" I responded, "Well, I've been awake for the past 3 hours, so I'm going to step out the house." Him, "Can't you just wait?" I didn't respond and just left. Anyway, I kind of get what he's saying about having to do shit when you've just woken up. But it's also the middle of the damn day and you have kids and you just got to take a 3-hour nap. So yeah, am I rude? You want to go?
This guy is a straight bum.
Maybe he's friends with the other guy.
No, he's not friends with him, but the thing is, he's drawing from the same playbook. Um, Here's a fun thing: if you guys are still watching this, whoever's watching this, fun little thing. When we were expecting our son, every time I met a guy who has a who has kids, he'd say, "Oh, congrats." Not a whole lot for you to do in the first 3 4 years. You can just kind of hang back and let her take care of that stuff, that feeding and all that changing, because that's not what we do. The fun, then you get to do the fun stuff when it's like able to like run around, play, throw a ball, whatever. So around like 3 4, you get to like jump in and do the dad thing. And it's not like, I mean, I feel like Elon Musk. I mean, I saw Elon Musk say something similar. He's like, yeah, there's nothing really for me to do. So he's got all these kids and he doesn't really mind not being around because there's nothing for me to do. Obviously, that's stupid and not true. And this guy seems like he's pulling from the same playbook. I think that, you know, um, the fact that it's happening is so. This is the thing that this is gonna like upset somebody.
Uh-oh. Is it going to be me?
Nah, you've heard all this stuff, so I'd be surprised if you were upset. Wow, they're one of the things that Oprah taught me. I didn't watch much Oprah growing up, but I did watch it occasionally. One of the things Oprah said was, "You teach people how to treat you." Uh, you teach people how to treat you, and there's a lot of different, gurus and writers and whatnot who say things like, "I am 100% responsible for what happens to me." Um, if there is a person in your life who is literally taking advantage of your generosity, your kindness, your desire to have order rather than chaos, and you just allow it to continue to happen, it is your fault. It is absolutely 100% your fault because you have control over whether or not that continues to happen. You just do. But when you introduce fear, the fear of like, well, what happens if I put my foot down? Is he going to leave? Maybe. But wouldn't that be better? I mean, if this guy's not helpful, if he's not pulling his weight, I mean, of course, now they've got 2 kids together, so it's a big problem. But he was like that before the kids. This guy today is the same guy he was 3 4 years ago. I mean, they've got 2 kids together, and it's her fiance. I mean, that engagement period might have been going on for 5 years, for all we know. But
Good time to reevaluate that engagement, I would say.
well, maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's a tough time to break up with your baby daddy, with a 1 year old and a 3 year old. But I guess all I'm saying is it's these are things that can be avoided, just by saying, look, there is absolutely nothing okay with what you're doing. You're not being a good teammate. Ladies, talk to your men in terms of in sports terms. All right. If you said something like, "Hey, pretend we're on a football team. Do you think it would be okay if I woke up early, showed up to practice, ready to go, read my playbook, watched my film, went on the practice field, and was ready to go? And you, as like say the quarterback, show up whenever you feel like it. You don't read the playbook, you don't watch the film, and you don't know what's going on when you show up on in practice. Is that fair? Is that a good teammate? Do you think you're going to win many games? Talk to him in sports terms, y'all. Uh, it's hard for him to defend that, right? I mean, like you're acting like a terrible teammate. I can't stand. by that. I don't want to have anyone on my team that's not a good teammate. So that's my thoughts. That was a lot. Sorry, but not because it's a podcast, so people talk a lot, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think the title for this was actually a little misleading because when I read that, is it fair or is it rude to ask your partner to do things right when they wake up? Like, I personally do not like to be asked something immediately after I wake up. I thought I mean, the context of this obviously frames it very differently.
Right.
Based on just the title alone, I was thinking, no, like you need to say good morning, like I want to be said good morning
Good
to.
morning's already, Joel.
How did you sleep? A little cuddle or something, and then say, hey, do you mind doing this for me today? Instead of just waking up and the first thing that comes out of your mouth is like barking an order. But that's not at all where this was going. So yeah, I agree with you. This guy sounds really lazy. He's not pulling his weight. He's not being a team player, and that's not cool.
Not cool. Not cool, dude. Fiance, get it together.
Yeah, sort your life out.
Yeah, that's the word from Parent Like an Athlete. Okay, let's go to another. Oh, I've been really looking forward to this one. Did you read the last one?
I read the last one, yeah.
All right, I'll read this one. I've been looking forward to this one. I should have let you read this one, but we're going to read it.
Okay, so we're copying.
I don't usually
pasting.
refer to myself as we're, by the way. Oh my goodness.
What?
Y'all, the post was deleted by the person who originally posted it.
Oh no.
This post was gold. I'm certain of it. You really learn which friends are true and not after having a baby. I'm going to read some comments because the comments don't go away when you delete the post. So someone says, having kids sometimes means acquiring a new set of friends too. It's a major life change, and not everyone is going to stick around for the changes. I can honestly say that I have a few friends, literally 3 at most, that I've known since my childhood/teens. And then I've filtered through a lot more over the years. As my life changed, so did the friendships I had. It's pretty normal. That one got a bunch of upvotes. This one, here's another one. 2 of my very best friends ghosted me after my baby shower. Like, they helped arrange, and this is all caps, arrange it, said congrats after my son was born, and I haven't heard from them since. 6 years ago. I've tried to text on their birthdays. One even said we should get together, but she wasn't available, so she'd text me later. And then I never heard from her again. Wow. Okay.
That's weird.
Yeah. Okay. I'm loving this. This is great. Here's another one. People without kids don't really know what to do with people with kids. They don't care about your kids. They don't care about your kids' sleep. They don't care about people being all responsible and not drinking and smoking with them. And they certainly don't care about writing cards for your kids. It doesn't mean they don't care about you or want to spend time with you. The problem is there's so little of you available that it feels barely worth it to them to try to engage. If you didn't experience this from the other side first, then it might be hard to sympathize. I did, and we had no time for kids, people in our kids free life. Hell, even having my own kids, I have trouble wanting to bother with our friends with kids. We all try because we're in it together, but these get togethers and trips are a shred of what they used to be. All of us mustering the effort to balance all the places we can go to get 2 beers in everybody in 1 hour, maybe before we all go deal with the kids again. Okay, this got really good. The original poster just left us some gold with these comments. So I'm gonna let you start.
You go. I feel like you're
Wow.
dying. You're dying to say something.
Wow, y'all. You should have set me up. Setting me up over here. Okay. Y'all. All right. So let's just start. You do learn which friends are true and not after having a baby. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. This is going to get posted, and the people who I'm thinking of in my mind probably will never see this because they're not actually like my friend, right? So they're not gonna see this anyway. But if they did, I would hope that they would, see it and be like, wow, am I being a bad friend? And the answer is yes. Uh, look, you're either friends with someone or you're not. If like you're only friends when it's convenient for you to be able to do things together that you want to do, like drinking, you're not really friends. This is just a drinking buddy. This is just a person who you bring around to enable you to do stuff that you probably don't need to be doing anyway. That's not a friend. So, I think the biggest issue with this post is a lot of people don't even realize that a lot of people that they call friends are not actually their friends. These are acquaintances. These are drinking buddies. These are a collection of people who fit in certain little boxes, very limited spaces. And this guy who made this comment is right in a way. Um, he says it doesn't mean they don't care about you or want to spend time with you. The problem is there's so little of you available that it feels barely worth it to them to try to engage. He's right and wrong in a way. He's wrong because they actually don't care about you. I mean, if they cared about you, then they'd find time to spend time with you. But when it comes to there's so little of you available that it feels barely worth it. Well, guess what? This person wasn't really a friend. The only little part that they wanted from you is no longer available. So technically, there is so very little available to you. And it's kind of like, I don't know, a guy who only wants to call a chick to hook up with her. He doesn't want to hang out with her unless he's hooking up with her. So guess what? If she says, I'm not hooking up with you anymore, there's so little left available of you. Like, I don't, I don't have time for you. And in essence, he does not care about you. So yeah, we've seen it. And I, it's not surprising to me at all. Um, but I look at it as a gift. I want to know who is not really my friend. If I were mistaken about whether you are a friend or not, if somehow I missed it, man, thank you to my son for helping me see the light. I'm not losing any sleep over this, but I'm gonna hand this over to you and get your thoughts.
Yeah,
Keep that
and
mic. Keep
I
that mic
think
a little away from your mouth.
a little
Also,
away like
yeah.
this. Yeah, and I think we've been lucky because I think that we both have had people in our lives that have made the effort to, hang out with us with our son, right? Like to come over to our house and to, you know, very much like be flexible and like get to want to know our son and stuff, which is awesome.
It helps when you have a cool son too, but
Well, yeah. Um, but then there's definitely been people that you just don't hear from again. And then I think the other thing that's interesting is there's people that you don't hear from. And then as those people, start to have kids, they kind of come back around and want to kind of re-engage and be friends again because they realize that their lives are about to change and they're like, oh shit, like how do we do this kid thing? Let's reach out to the people that we know that have kids, even though we kind of kept them at a distance because they have kids. So that's an interesting dynamic too.
yeah.
Well, I feel like you're gonna say something.
Oh, I said yeah, but my mic was down, so I
Oh,
realized that it was like
oh. Yeah, so I think it's good. I think you get to know, yeah, you get to know who your real friends are. And I think that for a lot of us, I mean, for me personally, you a lot of the friends that you think you have as an adult, yeah, to your point, are not really your friends. They're people that you go out with and drink with. And when you change your life in a way of starting to have kids, for us, like we stopped drinking. You really do know who your friends are, and a lot of those friendships were kind of fake, and you are better off without them.
yeah, yeah. A lot of judgment over everything. Like, oh, you're spending time. Would you like to go on a 5-day trip? No.
Do you want to go on a booze cruise?
I have a I have a baby, and that's weird that you're asking me. And it's weird that you're confused about my response, the no response. Well, can't your wife take care of him? He's a baby. The trips, I can resume trips when he's older, and yeah. Anyway, so yeah, people don't like it. They don't really want to find a way to hang out because they're just not really friends. And I definitely understand. I actually like reading from the other people's viewpoints, but I promise you, if I'm friends with somebody, if we're really friends, I'm not trying to dictate the terms in which we hang out and saying, well, I'm not down to do anything that requires it to be kid friendly. Like, nah, man.
Also, I find that with some people, it can breed a lot of resentment. If you get to a place in your life where you have met somebody that you want to have kids with and your friends have not, there's jealousy, there's resentment, and like that, drives a wedge. And then when the kids come, it's kind of like the final straw, too. But again, like, you're better off with those people because those people want to keep you at the level where everyone else is. And when someone in the group starts to grow and change, however that may be, it really does show you who your true friends are.
Yeah, y'all keep an eye out for the people who aren't happy for you when good things happen in your life. Um, I pay attention to it. So if you guys are watching, if somebody who knows me is watching this, I'm paying attention to how you respond when I share good news with you. And I'm not sharing good news with you a second time if it's a hater response. We probably won't see each other. I don't waste much time. Don't do it. Anyway, let's see. I think this comment might be a good one. I haven't read it yet, but I have a good feeling. This is one. Oh, I'm not reading anyone's handles either. Okay, yeah, I was looking for this comment. I don't think it's fair for OP's original poster, OP's friends, to exclude them just because they have a baby. However, it's also kind of much to organize people to hang out and night at night. Okay, poor grammar. Hang out and night, and then get mad when they talk too loud or come a little later, and that they should tiptoe around your baby all the time. I mean, it kind of makes sense why they don't want to come. You shouldn't expect people to bend around your will all the time simply because you have a baby. First of all, this woman did not actually. Well, you know what? Hold on. Um, we don't have the original post.
We don't.
Yeah, so
No.
I was going to make a comment about how she didn't read the post, but guess who didn't read the post?
Us.
Us. We didn't read the post. Yeah, look, I mean, the tiptoeing around your baby, that is annoying. I mean, the people who are freaked out about like you waking their baby, that's annoying. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's annoying. Our child is sleeping right now with music playing in the background along with white noise because we wanted to make it impossible to wake him up. We wanted people to be like having fun and know for a fact that he's not going to wake up. So, yeah, I get that. Um, but that's no reason to just not be a friend.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the other thing is a baby is a baby for a very short amount of time in the context of if you've been friends with somebody for 5 years, 10 years, they have a baby, like the first 6 months, maybe you don't see them that much. Maybe when the baby gets, 9 months, 12 months, you start to see them more and stuff. I mean, it's a very short period of time in your friendship. So if a friendship is worth, um, pursuing and being friends with somebody, if they're worth it, then you should just make the effort for the short period of time that they have a baby, and that will probably come back to you over and over again with how people treat you when you're in a situation, whether you're sick, whether you have a child. So I think, yeah, treat people how you want to be treated. Are we going to do one more?
Um, let's see. Discipline, a dirty word? I'll read this one. Man, I guess it's your turn, but Gemma read a dud that is not going to air because it was really sad. We thought it was going to be good, and it was really sad
Yeah.
and just gross. And
it's not our vibe.
Yeah,
for
it's not.
tonight.
It's not what we're doing. So she read that one, so I'll read this one. I cannot help but notice anytime a user mentions discipline as a form of fixing a parenting issue, they are downvoted and often openly insulted. Why? At what point did discipline become a bad word? Who in their right mind thinks it's a good idea to let children run the household? Because reading most of these posts, and I don't comment often, I will tell you discipline would fix most of your parenting issues. Woo! Hot fire. Hot fire.
Fire.
You want to take this? You want to take a shot at this one? You start.
Is that the end?
That's it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, that might be the shortest one that we've seen. I feel
Concise. We love it. Except for when we're talking. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that discipline is underrated. I think that we've talked about discipline a lot and what we plan on doing with our kids. And I do think that there is a lot of people shy away from discipline a lot these days. There's a lot of styles of parenting that are very much like, let the kid do whatever they want and follow their hearts and dreams. And
which is nothing wrong with following your heart and dreams.
There's nothing wrong with that, but I think that part of parenting is steering the kid on the right path, providing them guidance, telling them when something is wrong so they know the difference between right and wrong, and they can grow up to, critically think about the differences between right and wrong. And without discipline, those are harder lessons to learn. So yeah, I think discipline is super important. Obviously, there's lots of different ways to do it, and that can be controversial in itself. But I think at the core, it is something that's really important. And I think that kids that have discipline and are disciplined ultimately benefit. It benefits them.
Yeah, I mean, this is an easy one, right? This podcast is called Parent Like an Athlete. What athlete do you know that has done anything that's notable, of note, worth mentioning? I'm saying the same thing 3 different ways. I know. Without discipline. What athlete does anything that you care about without discipline? So if you have a problem with disciplining your kids, then you don't want your kid to play sports. You don't want your kid to do anything well, as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, discipline does take different forms. There's different ways of disciplining. Like I think sometimes people, get hung up on whether you're, physically disciplining a child. I'm not going to get into all that right now, but it's one of those things that when I look at the problems with our society, the things that we universally hate the most about our interactions with other people, it comes down to their own lack of discipline. It's no wonder that so many parents have a problem with the concept of disciplining their child because they are undisciplined themselves. So it's kind of like holding a mirror up to someone, right? And it's like, well, if you say if you discipline your child, then your problems would go away. That person is now understanding or hearing, if you discipline yourself, your problems would go away. The problems that you have would go away. And we can talk about, lack of discipline. I mean, I'm not always the most disciplined person. I've had like moments where I've been super disciplined, and there's other moments where I've fallen off and I've paid for it. I mean, I'm doing this podcast right now. You know how many times I've started a podcast? This one's going to stick, y'all, for real. I'm disciplined.
Weird to say.
I'm disciplined on this one. But there's all these different things, these things that we want, we prefer to have, and kids are no different. And the problem with being an adult is you, you get to a point where no one can actually tell you what to do, and so it's on you to be self-disciplined.
Mm.
But the concept of self-discipline requires that someone actually teaches you how to do it. You have to be taught to be disciplined.
Yeah.
It's
And
just,
if you look at, like, I mean, even outside of athletes, I mean, athletes are a great example, but like if you look at some of the most successful people in the world, like they're all very disciplined, like you read all the time, like, these people get up at a certain time in the morning, they have their morning routine, they have carve out time to do this, they carve out time to work out, they know what they're going to eat, they make sure they eat healthy and putting the right things in their body, and getting their morning sunlight in, and all of these things, all these micro habits that add up to being disciplined and being successful. So yeah, I think it's like a real cornerstone of helping your kid be successful and be happy too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Discipline. There's so much to discipline, right? Like having the ability to just control your mind is an act of discipline. It requires someone to do the work of helping discipline you so that you learn how to discipline yourself. Like if you have no discipline, no self-discipline, you can't control your mind. Your thoughts, if your child gets to run wild and do whatever your child wants, I'm going to eat whatever I want. I'm going to say whatever I want. I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to go to sleep whenever I want. I'm going to hit whoever I want. I'm going to, whatever it is, we can say, oh, that's normal and that happens. Or we can just say it's normal and it happens because of a lack of discipline. And, it's a tough thing to do. It, it's scary. You want your kid to like you. You want your kid to be happy and not sad. And you know, I'm with this parent. Um,
And I think that's an important point about parents wanting their kids to like them. Um, I saw a really good, maybe you shared it with me, a video on Instagram about I'm gonna mess it up because I can't really remember, but it was basically saying something
you can
like,
just make it up. This is the internet.
oh, that's true, that's true. Like the first, if you discipline your kid for the first part of their life, then that kid is, then you get the benefit of being able to be friends with them in later life. Whereas if your priority is to be friends with your kid in younger life, in their younger years, then they're going to be very undisciplined and they probably won't want to be around you when they're older. When they leave home and they can choose whether to come back or not, they won't. Whereas if you've disciplined them and really set them up in that way to be able to like critically think and have all these good habits and good behaviors that ultimately lead to their success, then they're going to want to be around you later in life.
That part, yeah. It's like it's kind of like the last topic, right? With the fair weather friends or acquaintances. Like if you are someone um who I only really care about to meet certain needs of mine, um, and you're not someone who comes in with the whole package, so as a parent, like, well, I'm going to be there for you to, make sure you've got a nice car and nice clothes and all these things, and then, but there's no real life lessons, there's no discipline, there's no real structure. At a certain point, when they're old enough and it's like, well, you're on your own, well, the kid's like, well, if you're not giving me anything, then I'm not going to be here. Like, what have you done for me lately? But a kid who's been disciplined learns about wisdom and realizes that not only is wisdom from your parents free, because what parent's not going to, like, just, it's just going to stop giving wisdom, but like it's hard to find out in real life. This is literally why all these posts exist on Reddit. Wisdom is not out there. Oh, Google. First of all, y'all, can I just tell you, Google hates you. I mean, they don't hate you. They actually love you. They want all. They make money off of you, so they love you. But like, you Google something on you Google something on Google or Bing if you're a wild person.
Google something on Bing.
Yeah, if you're binging it.
Binging it.
Googling and binging.
People use Bing?
Yeah, 9%, I think, of the population. And
Wow.
I think it's probably increasing with ChatGPT, to be honest. But you're being fed a mix of responses that got to you through search engine optimization. So be careful about just taking whatever you find on Google on that first page, because someone either paid for you to see it or they paid someone to engineer the words in a way that the search engine would crawl and find everything and be like, oh, this is a good response, and also a great way for us to make more money for clicks. So yeah, I think the kid is just like the fair weather friend when you give the kid whatever he or she wants, rather than being someone who gives them what they want and what they need. So yeah, discipline.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Let's get one more. I'm so angry at my baby for not sleeping. Definitely don't want to read that. That sounds horrible. But if you're angry at your baby for not sleeping, yeah, that's not something that sounds shocking. Oh boy, we've got, our tablets really that bad? Do we want to go with that one? Or okay, I'll give you options. We got, are tablets really that bad? We've got, what are the biggest costs associated with having children? And then, this one might be better. I got my ass torn up in this community for my potty training method, but it worked.
Yeah, let's do that one.
First of all, y'all, this is an opportunity for us to learn something, because someone had the guts, the chutzpah, the cojones to put their potty training method that sounds like it's unconventional on this thread, subreddit, whatever, for parents. And people were mean. But apparently this person got the last laugh. So I'm going to let Gemma read it. And it's long. So we're going to
I'm definitely have to put my glasses next time.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe, or just,
or maybe I'll get LASIK.
Contacts work too. But guess what? We've got this reader view thing, so it works.
Hey guys, I'm posting this as closure for myself after a few members of this community were awful to me about my potty training choices. Some were very kind too. My original post was about my son, who's 3.5, refusing to tell us that he pooped and is developing rashes in his diapers. I asked the forum if, based on this, it made sense to just take away the diapers. I ended up getting a few responses that I needed, saying yes, and then a bunch of responses saying I neglect my child and don't parent because I hadn't started potty training sooner. My husband suggested I explain our strategy now that I'm done crying. One commenter really enjoyed making fun of how sensitive I am. He's not right. Oh, he is right. I'm a very sensitive person. It's something I like about myself because I was abused as a child and had to learn how to express my emotions using words and tears instead of drugs. So here we go. Okay. First of all, my son has always watched us go potty from day one. We would talk constantly about what we were doing, how we did it, etc. When he was 2, we had him do it naked.
Do naked time.
Do naked time for a week. He couldn't tell. I'm really struggling without my glasses.
I'm going to read this. Okay, so I'll read this. All right, first of all, I'm not going to do the accent, but I'll talk like a woman, kind of. All right, maybe I won't do that.
I think just read it.
I'll just read it.
Are you picking up where I left off?
Yep. First of all, my son always watched us go potty from day one. We would talk constantly about what we were doing, how we did it, etc. When he was 2, we had him do naked time for a week. He couldn't tell when he had to go and ended up feeling immense shame at his accidents. We never scolded him or were upset. He was born with a lot of sensitivity, go figure, and feels shame whenever he doesn't live up to his ridiculously unkind expectations of himself. I gotta just say that I feel like these ridiculously unkind expectations of himself, that still feels like, I don't know. I'm not there. Okay, I'm not gonna. After that, and seeing how upset he was getting, we slowed down and went back to diapers. But we would ask him every day if he would like to try the potty. Sometimes he would, and sometimes he would even go pee. But most of the time he wouldn't. He loved using the potty after overhearing other kids do it, but no luck otherwise. Then he started hiding his poops from us. He would get rashes mild enough to go away by the end of the day after some cream. We kept talking to him about telling us when he has to poop so we can clean it up sooner. We also kept offering to take him up to the potty. Hard no on both. After I made my post here and got encouragement from a group of people, I sat my son down and told him that he's a big boy now and that means we just can't wear pull-ups at all anymore. Hiding the poops is a safety hazard and it is my job to keep him safe. He said he wants to stay little. I told him he will always be our baby, but he will be so happy to be a big boy when he's with his friends. That was on Thursday. Since then, he's only worn a pull up to bed, no accidents during the day, and so far he's only wet his nighttime pull up once. Most importantly, he's happy to use the potty. He's very confident in knowing when he has to go, and he's very proud to inform us when he needs to go. He's too scared to wear underwear when we go places because he doesn't want to have an accident, so he still wears pull ups in the car, but no accidents. I know that success isn't linear and he will fall back here and there, but after reading comments of people questioning my ability to parent, I lost sight of my goal briefly. Now I remember my real goal was to ensure that he didn't feel immense shame around the potty, and I've done it. I'm proud of myself, and to anyone who is also going against the standard potty training timeline, I was chewed out for him being 3.5 and still wearing diapers. I believe in you and trust you are doing it for your kiddo. I will probably get downvoted to crap for this because you're supposed to act like you don't care about how people talk to you online. But like I said, I'm a proud, sensitive baby of a person, so go ahead and crap on me. I don't care. Of course, that's a lie. I'm going to turn off notifications for this post, and maybe my husband will read them to me later while I'm crying. LOL. Well, kudos to this woman for putting her comments out there, sharing what she's going through, and sharing how it made her feel when people were rude and mean. I'm going to go ahead and say kudos to her. And great job turning off the notifications. Like, I mean, back when, I did post some stuff on YouTube a very, very, very long time ago. And I did not read any of the comments because there was no way for the algorithm or whatever AI to filter that stuff out. And there was some horrible stuff on there. And I play video games online, and sometimes people say some really nasty things. So kudos to her for putting it up there and leaving herself vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love some vulnerability.
Yeah, we like vulnerability, keeping it real. The only thing, so here, I don't know anything about potty training a child. I don't need to worry about that right now. Our child is 1. We've got a book I'm looking at right now. It's the middle book on the shelf, Mom's on Call. Fantastic stuff. And in that book, I assume they're going to teach us how to do the potty training thing.
Yeah, I hope so. They've taught us how to do everything else.
They taught us a bunch of other stuff. I'm going to just read that book and not really worry about it. But I will say that every kid's different. And I think we all know that and appreciate that. Every kid's different. every situation is different. But you know what's not different about kids? I think it's is that kids have a they have powerful abilities when it comes to just thinking and reasoning and just dealing with logic. Like, I mean, they're not fully grown, fully formed and all that, but you can explain things to kids. You can you can craft a narrative around something that they want, and it can just make sense for them. That story is not surprising to me because when I imagine what I'm going to do with our son when he's older, so much of it is just going to come down to, son, I know you want X, correct? Yes. Great. Well, if you want X to happen, then you're going to need Y. And if you don't, then it may happen, it may not. And it feels like that's what this woman did with her son. So
Yeah, it seemed like the
great job.
defining moment was when he believed that he could do it. Which is interesting because it kind of ties back to what we were talking about before with like disciplining your mind and thinking in a certain way. So that's an interesting cross pollination of our topics. But yeah, and I think with his age, like I don't know when you're supposed to potty train. Is it? I think is it start? They say you can start from like 2. I have no idea.
We don't know a lot, y'all.
We don't know.
But if they say whatever age they say, I'm going to start sooner because you know, like if we're talking if we're talking about averages, right? That means like you're talking about the average. I'd rather start earlier. Some of y'all might not like
Yeah,
that, but
I would rather start earlier too.
diapers are not cheap,
Personally,
y'all.
diapers are really expensive. That reminds me, Amazon Prime Day is coming up, and I read that diapers are 40% off.
Mm,
There's a pro parenting tip for everyone out there.
yeah, maybe we should buy the level 5s and the 6s and just get a whole room full of diapers.
Well, also the smaller ones too.
Oh, that's a good point. Yep. Okay. We're having another baby.
In case y'all hadn't noticed me with my hand on my stomach.
Oh yeah. That's not any old bump.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
This isn't my 4 pints a night.
No, that's not a post brunch bump there.
I mean, maybe a little bit, but
we like the brunch. Yeah.
yeah, we've gotten off track. What were we saying? The party trainer. Yeah, I'm sure she had her reasons for waiting. I'd be curious to know what those were. But yeah, I think she got it right. That I think once getting the kid to believe that they can do something, I think that's what's going to empower the kid to be able to do anything. And I think that's a really important um, practice to have in your home and with your kid. Like, constantly talking to your kid about all the things that they can achieve, how great they are, how they can, really building their confidence to kind of go out and do what they want to do. Obviously not in a way that turns them into a narcissist, but just, building into them and, building them up and giving them confidence.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think also she just took his diapers away, right? Like she just
Well, she said that
oh yeah, wait.
he would enjoy being a big boy around his friends. He could hang out with his friends and not worry about
Yeah, so the
the carrot or the
the
stick.
trend the transformation imagery. What do we call that in marketing? The result. So
Yeah, she painted a picture for him
yeah,
of what his life could be like.
yeah. But and better to do that with kids because at some point people get older and they start telling themselves that the result is impossible because they don't want to do the work. So
And that's why it's, I think, so important to build into kids starting from a young age of what they are capable of. Because if you give them that mindset at a young age, then they're going to have it. It's much harder to, as an adult, adopt that mindset when you know, are much more cynical and like, you know, you have more lived experience. But for a child, giving them that is really giving them a gift, I think.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if any of you guys remember this book. I think it was called I Can't, Said the Ant. And I don't remember what happened in the book exactly, but basically it's like a book that teaches kids about not saying the word can't, about how, you know, powerfully horrible that word is. And it's a word that I don't like to hear. I don't like the word should. I don't like the word can't. I really don't like the word can't. And I have to stop myself sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, oh, you can't have that. And it's like, let me change that. This is not for you, son.
I got something else for you.
This is not for you. This is not for you. Not you. You can't have it, because it really is like we just train ourselves and train our kids to just think that they can't do stuff. I can't. I can't. I can't. Nah, you can if you grow up some years, and I can trust you with this. But right now, it's not for you. But yes, one day you can and will have this thing that you want. Um. Yeah. So anyway,
This was fun.
this was very fun.
Yeah.
I hope y'all had fun.
Yeah.
I hope y'all had fun. I hope you learned something. And even if you learned that Otis and Gemma are just horrible people who I hate, but I can't stop watching them. Well, hey, look, whatever
Haters gonna hate.
whatever gets you tuned in. I mean, because look, if you're listening, something you can be like, I hate this guy's face, the way his mouth moves, and the way he licks his chapped lips, and I don't know.
Her accent is so annoying.
What is it, British or Australian?
Australian? I can't tell. It's like a mutt accent.
Or is it like South African? I don't get this. She said she's from England, but I don't know.
I don't believe it.
Yeah. But I'm afraid to put it in the comments because YouTube might ban me. Be afraid of that. YouTube might ban you for real. And then that would suck because like these comments, they're attached to your Gmail address sometimes. Like and I guess you could get a burner account and say horrible things, but
or you could just be nice.
You could just be nice. I mean, the world works in fantastic ways for people who are kind.
Yeah. Karma is real.
Well, I wouldn't call it karma, but yeah. Don't be rude. Okay, y'all. That was us talking about Reddit parenting stories.
Yeah. On our first ever Parent Like an Athlete podcast.
First Parent Like an Athlete podcast. And first of many. You're not going to be able to get rid of us.
Ever.
The algorithm will find you.
We're going to be like the cockroaches of YouTube.
If you don't like us, you're going to have to delete your account.
We're coming.
Oh,
coming
yeah. Yeah, we might even like buy some ads to like send to people who don't want to watch our podcast.
We're aggressive.
Burning cash just so we can find you folks who don't want to see us. For at least 5 seconds before you have to skip that ad.
On that note.
Nothing creepy and weird about these folks. Okay.
All right.
Night night.
Good night. Ciao for now.
Or good afternoon.
Or good morning.
Right.
Just good.
Just don't make me do anything right when I wake up.